I'm JJ Sowa, born and raised Orange County. Yeah, Libero, senior at Loyola.
Shane Davis, head coach, entering my second year at Loyola. This,
Second, just second?
yeah, maybe 15th overall, but yeah,
Okay, there it is.
my second round. Yes.
Well, we'll start right there. Coach Davis, again, last year was your first year back. This first season fully through with the team starting in the fall and now with the season in the spring. What did you led the team to a MIVA Conference, not regular season, conference tournament title, and then a trip to the national championship. What is giving you confidence this season that the Ramblers will return to the bar you set last year?
Yeah, it's the confidence just comes from our standards in the gym and standards of the program. They haven't changed, right? The expectations, the habits, and the daily work that the team and coaching staff and players are putting in, right? The returning players understand what it takes to take ownership of kind of their daily development. And then another big thing was the amount of work that this group put in over the summer. We had a huge group that stayed together. They lifted together. They worked out together. They did open gyms together. So they put a ton of work in the off season leading up to this fall. And you combo that with just strong leadership in our captains, our new additions for this fall, right? They're hungry, they're competitive, and everyone fits the culture and understands what we're trying to get to from a program standpoint. So, yeah, we're focusing on the process, the growth, and the daily excellence right now.
Yeah, yeah. And then JJ, as a Cali native, is there any difference in the style of volleyball that you see in the MIVA now that you've been a member for a couple of years? And what makes it so different and makes it so competitive compared to leagues across the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think coming from California, we really pride ourselves on ball control and being like crafty. And I think the biggest thing is that in the Midwest, it's these big guys with big verticals and big arms that just let her rip. And I love it. I love the intensity that these guys have and that our team has, especially with the Midwest. But we also bring a little SoCal with a lot of California guys on our roster. So the mesh has been amazing. But yeah, I think the Midwest is just big guys and they just love taking hacks. And I mean, who doesn't love playing defense against those guys and diamond a serve and it's just a great feeling. And then the MIVA, I mean, I think year in and year out, it's just gotten better and better with a lot of teams becoming more and more deep. I mean, we're seeing McKendree come out and just battling it with everyone. And, that's a great thing. And Ohio State always has a great team on their hands and Ball State. And then even like Queens is all and Purdue Fort Wayne are always, we have to be ready on a daily basis, always to get a win. I mean, you can't take any team lightly in this conference.
Well, Seamus, I might as well pose you the same question, even though, I mean, 2 years as of right now, but much longer in the MIVA than just this past couple of years. What about this conference is just makes it so competitive year in and year out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's we talk about West Coast, volleyball. We've talked about the hotbed of West Coast volleyball. Well, Midwest has its own hotbed too, right? And Chicagoland area is a great hotbed of not only just players, but then clubs and coaches and whatnot. So I think what's really kind of cool, JJ mentioned just the competitiveness of the conference, but it just allows a lot of young athletes to access matches easily, right? Not only do you have Lewis and Loyola right in the Chicagoland area, but everywhere else is a quick, easy drive. You've got great D2, D3, NAI volleyball too that's happening in the Chicagoland area. And what it does is just, I think it creates, keeps elite talent engaged, right? And it inspires them locally, right? They can see the environments, they can see these guys up close. They get to see the rivalry of Loyola Lewis, right? We're an hour apart. And, if you haven't been to one of those matches, I really encourage you to be at one of those matches. It's a packed house and they just think it puts us on a national stage and it really creates a cool environment for people to be in, but they can hear it. They can feel it, right? When they're in these gyms, and it's just an exciting experience to be a part of.
So I guess that transitions into my next question. What should viewers expect when they tune into a Loyola Chicago volleyball game?
I'll let JJ start this one.
All right. I knew you were going to give this one to me first. The big word we've been saying that Coach Shane has been saying is competitiveness. I think this year there's just been a new competitiveness in our gym. I think from top to bottom, every guy is competing for a spot. And I know that's been pushing a lot of guys. And so I think just being out there on the court, high energy, high flying, and high competitiveness. I mean, that's what we keep preaching on a daily basis in practice. And, the old saying, practice how you play. So it's just going to translate hopefully right into those matches, especially with some of the big time matches that we have coming up. So yeah.
Yeah. And to add on to JJ, yeah, absolutely. I think JJ talked about our depth and talent. I mean, they can expect to see fast, physical, relentless volleyball. And I think a team that plays with a lot of energy. And if you watch JJ play, right, he brings a ton of energy and he's a great spark plug for our group. You'll see discipline, togetherness as a group, but also a team and individuals that embrace the big moments when things are on the line, when the lights are on. And that's something that we continue to progressed through last year, and I think this year will be even better in those moments. And then I think, put all that stuff together, and then you think about an environment at Loyola. You've got a high energy game day experience, our intros, right? You've got music, lights, video boards, in-game entertainment, and an incredible loyal fan base, right? Chicago is not only a hotbed from a club volleyball standpoint at high school, but the community just absolutely loves volleyball. I mean, you've got leagues that are happening over the summer where 10,000 participants are playing beach volleyball during the summer. You have leagues going out throughout the entire year. So you just got an amazing community that continues to show up day in and day out.
Yeah. I got a small taste of it when I was in Chicago for the VNL, and just let me say that I'm expecting to not have that not be my last time in Chicago for sure. What about JJ as a player, as an athlete, as a person completes this team? Obviously, we talk about the talent that you have on this team. Specifically, what about JJ does he bring to this Loyola Chicago Ramblers team?
Yeah, it's I mean JJ's a captain, right? So I think that says a lot, and he was voted a captain by his peers. So I think it shows just how much care he has for our group individually as well. He does great in terms of check-ins with our guys off the court. He's working with our group not only in the gym, but figuring out, if a guy is a little bit off, he is very good about checking in with that guy and making sure that they're okay and if they need anything additional for us. And so he's kind of a little bit of a glue guy, and I think every team needs a glue guy. You can talk about how great of a volleyball player he is, but just him being a captain and in our glue guy is just incredibly important as we continue to move through the season. And it's easy when things are going well, but when things are tough and not going our way, you look for JJ to bring us up and moving us in the right direction.
And then JJ, this is your second year with Coach Davis. What about his coaching style makes Loyola the best team that you've played for?
Be yourself. I think right when I got there, I think I was just myself immediately to Coach Shane, and I think he was a little taken aback. I'm a high energy type of person, and I don't know if he expected that on day one, especially in like our first captains meeting. But he just preaches being yourself and just playing your game and trusting yourself and your skills. And when you have somebody like that leading your team, it's hard not to pull for them and play for them. And I think we have right now 20 guys that are pulling for not just Coach Shane, but also Coach Exline, Dalton, and the whole school in general. And I think that just is an embodiment of what Shane's doing for our program of just we're all in this together, no matter, one to the bottom, whoever you are in this school community, we're going to do it for you. And I think just confidence in his players. And that's what I feel on the court. And it's hard not to play well when you have that guy.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this roster going into the 2026 season. Obviously, last year you lost a couple of big seniors, but you hit the transfer portal pretty hard, Coach Davis. What do you have to say about the talent that you're bringing in this year? Not only just transfers, but as also freshmen that may see the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned a little bit about last year. We lost some incredible people from last year's program, and obviously Parker being a two-time MIVA Player of the Year, All-American, and All-World, basically, and on and off the court. So that was one thing that, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to replace something like that? Well, you can't maybe replace him with somebody else, right? And so it was really important for us to bring in multiple people that could help fill spots throughout the roster, right? So we're not just focused on one particular guy. And I think we did a great job with adding grad transfer of Josh Schellinger, our transfer of Alexander Sosa, And then we have some young talent freshmen, right, coming in as well. And so, I think those guys as a group and combined with the rest of the team, we have a gym that has no holes, right? And it doesn't matter who we're playing or how we're doing it. It's incredibly competitive, 1 through 20, like JJ mentioned. But we've got, 3 guys touching over 12 feet now. We're running some really good system stuff. And again, this is my first fall with the team. And so it's been great, not only working together as system wise, but each of these guys getting individually better at 1 or 2 things for this fall to help the team, right? While we get into season. But it's we're excited about the year. I think we're farther along than where we were at this point last year, obviously. So yeah, it should be a fun season.
Yeah. You say farther along. I was going to ask, is there something different that you enjoy more? Bad way to phrase it, but just the importance of a fall training session,
Yeah.
just being with the team. Is there something that you saw at the end of last year that you were like, man, I wish I had that fall, and then you were able to build on upcoming in this year?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, just from a timing standpoint, right? The previous staff did an incredible job with the program and got it to where it was, and I came into it a wonderful situation, right? But coming in November doesn't give you a lot of time to get to know the guys, right? And you can start building systems and doing things like that, but you come in and then it's holiday break and then it's season, right? And so you really didn't get to maybe know the guys that well. Also know their maybe habits that well, or what from a training standpoint, what they can get better at, or how to speak to them a little bit better. And I think this fall, given that, previous last spring and now this fall, allows us to really kind of dive in as we had a full season with them. Now, okay, what does JJ individually need to get better at this fall? And let's make sure he accomplishes that goal. And then this guy over here, let's make sure he gets better at this, right? And our mantra this year is Rise as One, and they are responsible, like player responsibility as well, as to get better throughout this fall so we can get better as a team. And so that's our mantra this year, is just Rise as One, because we know how competitive our group is. And but if JJ works really hard, then I know the next guy is going to work really hard, and we just continue to get better and better as a unit if each guy maximizes their output as well.
How has JJ matched that mantra this off season?
Well, I'll tell you, so one of the big things with JJ was working on his defense, right? Getting better at defense. JJ is an incredible passer, incredible with his hands in terms of second contact stuff. But we saw a little bit, we saw some great glimpses of that at the end of last spring during our season, of his defense really picking up. And this fall, he took off, right? But then Owen Smith, our other libero in the gym, all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I see JJ here. I'm going to take off. And then Owen takes off. And we're just seeing some unbelievable volleyball by these two guys. And then JJ takes another leap, right? And so JJ doesn't take that leap if Owen doesn't take that leap, right? And so those guys, and that's happening with every position in our gym right now. And that's how we're getting better.
Must be some fun A versus B scrimmages, JJ. What about that relationship with your fellow libero Owen? Is just continued to help you improve your game?
I mean, it starts within the gym, but it's also off the gym, or out of off the court stuff. I mean, we are just two tight guys who are just pulling for each other to do their best, because we know if we're playing our best volleyball, that means our team's getting the best reps. That means, we're getting the best reps. And, for a libero, sometimes you'll have a practice where you only pass just free balls. But if you can do that at the highest ability, that's going to help us, in system, in those tight matches where it's 14-13, set 5. Can I pass this free ball every time? And, we're just pushing ourselves constantly to be better for not just ourselves, but for the team. And so I think that's like, Coach Shane is saying, that's just 1 through 20 right now, though. I mean, it's just an unreal atmosphere to be in. I want to get back already, but, Christmas break and all that. So, but it's an exciting feeling, I'm stoked.
Yeah. This is now multiple times that you guys have mentioned the atmosphere and just, of not only your team, but also the environment that Loyola Chicago as a university and as a program brings. We saw Ohio State host the tournament last year. Is there, are we pushing for a bid to get Loyola to host the national championship? Also, with the expansion of the tournament, RPI just means so much more. and that auto bid at the end of the year is, it takes a little bit less pressure off your shoulders to win the conference. So do you guys have any thoughts on Loyola Chicago being the next host of the national championship?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. We did it in 2014, right? And when we won the national championship, and then the environment was crazy, right? It was so much fun, and so everybody remembers that, right? So there's no shyness of being aggressive on bids or hosting or trying to do what we can. So those are ongoing conversations for sure.
To end us off, why is Loyola Chicago a team that should be feared in the MIVA this year? Not only just because you guys are trying to repeat as that conference tournament winner, but also regain that regular season title.
Go ahead, JJ.
I think it's just a comfortability of each other. I mean, a lot of us, minus Parker and Dean from last year, but all of us are returning. And it just felt like a stability for once in our program kind of thing where we had a good group of guys coming back. And I think that was the whole vibe coming into this fall. And then hitting the ground running with the whole coaching staff throughout the whole fall has just made our team it's just making me excited. I can't stop smiling because that last or our last home tournament, we just looked really good, and it's exciting stuff. I mean, is everyone starting to hit their flow, like nice state before we left for break, and now we got 2 days coming up, and we're just going to hit the ground running. So I think just it's an exciting team that if we can carry that momentum throughout the whole season, ups or downs, and find that kind of happy medium. Scary team right here.
I think there's a lot of programs out there, right, that are having the same conversations, right, that are really excited about the year. There's so much parity right now in the country from a men's volleyball standpoint. I think with this group is they truly are trying to get better every single day. And like a lot of people can talk about that, but these guys, if somebody's having a bad practice or didn't get what they needed out of practice, like that guy is like staying after practice or they're coming in before. I mean, these guys are hungry and they're easy to coach, right? And it's like I'm not having conversations about effort or trying harder at all. And I think that your best players and your best top groups are continuing to push each other and leading by example in that way. It makes for a really tough team to beat. But I know there's a lot of teams like that too in the country, and I think this year is going to be awesome from a competition standpoint.
JJ, you speak on that anxiety that you have to start this season. You guys are straight out of a cannon to start the year with the First Point Collegiate Challenge, UCLA, Stanford, Ball State. What about that tournament are you guys excited about, just to be the first ones out, show what you guys got, and see who you guys are facing and what skills they've got?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think first a lot of the guys are excited to get out of the cold in Chicago for Phoenix. But no, I mean, you hear two names like UCLA and Stanford, and those are huge names, excuse me, in the volleyball community. And so, I mean, those are just games that you're barking on your calendar, you're getting ready, you're excited about. Like those are the games that we are keyed in, and we haven't had some of those big atmospheres sometimes, and to get that early on in the season and being prepared for when playoff time comes around or a big MIVA match comes around and we need a win, if we can just be like, we already experienced this atmosphere, we can just roll in and do our thing. So I think early on we have some pretty hostile environments, and that'll be very good to battle test us early. And then also see, if we win, how can we keep it going? But if things happen, how can we bounce back? And I think that's going to be a big thing this season.
Yeah, it's the schedule. It's not out yet. It's hopefully will be out too. But we actually will open up in Hawaii. At Hawaii for 2 matches before the First Point. And I feel like this January schedule is going to be maybe a little bit emotional at times, and so we're going to have to like control, I think, our emotions of the up and downs. And we go to Hawaii, and our assistant coach Dalton played at Hawaii, so it's a little bit of a homecoming there. And then the First Point was Stanford and UCLA. And, obviously John Hawks was here at Loyola beforehand and recruited some of these guys, coached these guys. So there's going to be a little bit of that. And then we bring in Pepperdine, right? And Pepperdine took us out in the NCAA tournament last year. So we get them at home. And then we play San Diego, right? Where Josh Ellinger played his, undergrad there, and now he's a grad transfer here at Loyola. So I just think there's going to be a lot of storylines in our non-conference this year, but we're excited about it. It's going to be fun. But this group does a really good job of moving on, whether it's a win or a loss, to the next match. And if it's a win, we're still trying to figure out how to get better. And if it's a loss, we're figuring out what we need to do to get better. And they're so good about making those adjustments and getting better in the gym for the next competition.
With such a hard schedule, what is it that, helps you down the line, having such a hard schedule early on, to learn about your team? And then, I mean, it may put you behind the 8 ball, but if you come out on top, you become quite a fierce competitor. What about such an early season challenge?
Yeah, I think it goes back to a little bit in terms of we knew kind of what kind of team we are going to have this year, right? Just the talent, experience wise, and you've got to play the best to beat the best. And I think we have a great schedule, and we're going to learn so much more about ourselves playing these type of matches, right? Especially on the road or in neutral environments. And so it's just always good for us to be able to put ourselves in those situations, in those moments, and see what guys rise to those occasions, right? We talked about a team or players that embrace big moments. We'll be able to find that out, and is that true or not? And if not, then we need to continue to go back and figure out how we can be successful in big moments. But at the end of the year, we want to win a national championship.
And then JJ, any regular or non-conference and conference matchups that you've got specifically circled on in your calendar, or are they all circled?
I was about to say, can I just circle them all? I mean, I think though that's how our team treats every game. We respect all of our opponents to the fullest abilities. And I think that's how we just take it our season, because then if we're looking ahead to like Ohio State or a Lewis rivalry matchup or Ball State and it's late in the season, we could fall into one of those, quote unquote trap games that we're not supposed to be in. And, I think that's something that our team though has worked for throughout like my 4 years, because sometimes we would struggle in some of those matches and it was just like what's going on. But I think now we just have a new like respect for just our opponents, the coaching staffs on the other opponent, because every team, like I said, any team can beat any team in any given night, and that's what's making volleyball though so exciting. And that's what I'm enjoying seeing with the growth of the sport. I mean, it's a fun time to be in the sport, honestly.
Could not agree more. Now, Coach, how do you avoid those trap games? Because the MIVA is full of them, as you know. Anybody can beat anybody on any day. Are you aware of that as you get late down in the season? Like, hey, we can't drop this match. What about those trap games? What about playing in the MIVA offers such diversity in terms of just skill and competition?
Yeah, I mean, you have your the talent of each team. You have teams can get hot, players can get hot in matches and sets. But I'm not one that talks about, hey, this is a track game, or hey, we can't lose this, right? I'm so much more of just like the forward thinking of what we need to be doing, and I'm big on routines, and I want to make sure the weekly routine looks exactly the same. My conversations, the environment in the practice gym is exactly the same no matter what. I dress the same in matches, right? I'm not making a bigger deal than it is if it's not. And so I just always try to keep the consistency, the calm of the storm, no matter what, no matter who we're playing, right? And I think that's important for them. I think if I'm starting to do something that's a little bit different match to match, then they're gonna start thinking, well, why is he acting different, or why is he saying this now? And they're gonna start having some things pop in their head that we don't want things to pop in their head at moments, right? So I think that's biggest is just staying consistent on those things for me as a coach, my staff, and then we get a consistency level of play from our group as well.
I love that. That's great. Well, with that, thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this first annual MIVA Media Day. I appreciate you guys coming on and talking about your team. And I should be there in Phoenix to see you guys play. And I look forward to, last time I saw you guys was in the national championship. So I'll earlier in the season, I'll get to see you. So I can't wait. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.